Program Director, 88.1 Wesleyan University Radio.
Oh, God.
Dr. X? You're still bragging about Dr. X?
Who was Dr. X?
Nobody knows. He was this genius mystery DJ.
It was Ted.
His identity remains a secret to this day.
It was Ted.
But this phantom of the airwaves changed the very face of college radio.
It was Ted.
And your show sucked.
What is Generation X? What does the X in Generation X stand for? What do we stand for? Why aren't people on campus talking about this?
Maybe you should do a radio show and call yourself Dr. X.
I just had an amazing idea. To me.
But I turned you on to Dishwalla.
No way. I played them on my radio show. I mean, pirate DJ Dr. X played them on his beloved radio show.
We all know you were Dr. X, Ted, and I'm the one who got us into that song.
No, on his beloved radio show, Dr. X pointed out that the chorus went, "Tell me all your thoughts on God, because I really want to meet her." Her. God's a woman.
Dr. X here, shooting truth bullets at you from an undisclosed location. Because if they knew where I was, they'd shut me down.
You're on the 3rd floor of the student center next to the game room, you tool.
I'm getting a lot of letters about my segment on how racist the school's meal plan is.
How are you getting letters if no one knows where you are, douche?
That's why I'm organizing a happening outside the dining hall Monday at midnight. It's high time the food service puppet masters took ignorance and injustice off the menu.
It blew the minds of everyone listening to Dr. X that night, which was pretty much everyone on campus, including me. I'm not Dr. X.
Oh, so you're saying credit for the stamp goes to Dr. X then, not you.
Why is no one coming to my happenings?
It's not funny, all right? The doctor says if it gets any worse, I might need surgery.
Vaginal rejuvenation surgery?
You know who didn't do a lot of operating on vaginas in college? Dr. X.
He did just fine.
You know what? Both of you geniuses need to take that weak-ass crap off your resumes. I mean, you are not Dr. X anymore, and you...
Hey, Ted, we need a fort for foosball. What are you doing in here anyway? Dude, get out of here. I'll be there in a second. So remember, dining hall, Monday midnight, another Dr. X happening. I'll be there because X marks the spot.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something right now.
Take a sip, follow my lead.
I'm Dr. X.
If you think people liked your show, they did not. This is weird.
Dr. X here to spread some truth sauce on your mind burger. Headline: The Ivy League is a scam. These false beacons of higher learning don't accept students based on academic merit, but on the depths of the pockets of the fat cat mommies and daddies who write big checks to secure admission for their inbred, simpleton offspring. Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Brown, they're all guilty. Especially Brown. How else to explain the fact that at this formerly august Rhode Island institution, applicants of modest means are consistently passed over for those less qualified? Applicants like a hard-working young man from an industrial state in the Midwest who didn't even get waitlisted, despite a solid 1480 on his SATs, 4 years of Model UN, stellar recommendations from his French teacher, Madame Rourke, and having directed a groundbreaking high school production of Waiting for Godot featuring air horns in place of live actors. While he's doing just fine, thank you, I know personally that the bitterness for this young man remains. Ivy League? More like IV League, 'cause they are on life support. And when the inevitable class action lawsuit is filed, these rotten to the core institutions will only have the dim-witted graduates of their own universities and law schools to defend. Plus I hear Ivy League chicks are total dog city. Dr. X. Every Tuesday night at midnight, triggering your mental orgasms with my long, hard discourses. Brought to you by CJ's Calzones on Bank Street. WESU. Dr. X here once again, lactating truth milk for you out of my mind nipple. Today's heads up. That stain on the front of your Wesleyan hoodie might not be from the 6 Long Island iced teas you pounded Friday night at the Beta House basement bar. Instead, it might be a different kind of stain. The stain of wretched tears from an exploited worker in a fetid sweatshop in Vietnam. That's right. These clothes are made in deafeningly loud, poorly ventilated overseas factories filled with underpaid workers. They're not just emblazoned with Wesleyan, they're emblazoned with shame. So Dr. X is calling for another one of his happenings. This Saturday at 3 p.m., we will meet in front of the campus store, all students, men and women. And we definitely need a lot of women to represent, who care about justice and human rights. Will wear their Wesleyan gear and then, at the conclusion of the poetry slam, disrobe and burn it. Everything must come off. We will stand naked in the eyes of Lady Justice. Dr. X will be there with you, at a distance, making a video record of the proceedings to document your courage. Again, I say to the women of Wesleyan, the burden of exploitation is borne by the girls and women of these third world countries, so we really need a lot of you out there to show your outrage. All of it. This is Dr. X signing off, and hey, wait. You know what will really drive patriarchal third world oppressors crazy? When two women make out a little bit. That's right, goddesses. That simple act of community demonstrates to these obsolete despots that the power and independence of the sacred feminine cannot be held down. So yeah, totally feel free to make out a little bit. And it's supposed to be a nice sunny day, so put on some sunblock or oil underneath. I recommend Hawaiian Tropics dark tanning oil, not greasy at all. Dr. X here, shoving a logic suppository up where you're full of crap. Dr. X here, ready to take the cabbage of lies we're fed and shred it into some truth slaw right before your eyes. Today's target, the jock culture. Why are athletics celebrated and revered on this campus at the expense of nobler pursuits? Why is the football team fully funded with student activities fees, yet the Society for Creative Anachronism, which celebrates and explores the noble arts of jousting, swordplay, and medieval japery, forced to hold a car wash to pay for a trip to Renaissance Fair? This campus jockocracy must end. Dr. X has a dream, people, that someday intellectual prowess and an appetite for role-playing in magical worlds will be lauded as much as athletic achievement. That the cheerleader who yells for the quarterback on Saturday afternoon doesn't have to yell at her next-door neighbor who invited some guys to come over in costume to play Dungeons and Dragons at 3 a.m. For that next-door neighbor is a halfling with a +2 for dexterity who can navigate Regdar's dungeon with cunning and stealth while keeping his dwarf Carthon safe. Shouldn't that ability make him as much of a hero on campus as the 6'2" Adonis who can throw a football 60 yards on a dead run and led the Wesleyan Cardinals to the championship of the Little Ivies? Yes, it should. So a flesh-to-stone spell on you, Mike Hammocky. And a fireball shot at your wench girlfriend. Dr. X here, sharing intellectual haze hits from my mind bong.